Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing coming to you with another tutorial. Today we're going to be making this cute little pouch. It's very long. Let me get some dimensions for you. Hold on, got stuck. So it is 3.5 inches wide and it is 7 3/4 inches long, just over 7 3/4. So it is a tall one. I didn't realize it was that tall. Am I looking at that right? Oh, it is very tall. So it's probably more a happy mail. It could go in a journal and just stick up a little bit, but I just love it. I purchased a template on Etsy because again, I'm in a stuck place. I need to just play and experiment and try new things. And so that's what I did. So I made this one. I didn't realize it was so long. And I made this one. So let me show you what they look like on the inside. I still have some parchment paper in here because I glued some stuff and I wanted to make sure that things didn't get sticky. So in this one, this was the second one I did. And so we've got a waterfall effect here, and then we've got pockets over here, and then we've got a flap with a eyelet and a closure. This kit I will link. It's a new spring kit that I purchased recently, but I will link it in case this is not the one we're creating with, but in case you're interested, I can go totally give that to you. So that is that one. And now this was the very first one I made, and I was very unhappy with the construction of the actual waterfall. So it turned out okay, but it's like really super bulky up here. And I don't think it's as bulky on this one, but I could just be smoking. So it is. Look at that. It's the same. I must be just thinking wrong about that whole process. So maybe that bulk is normal. I cannot quite remember because I'm a little bit fried, as I've mentioned. But we're going to go ahead and do one today and see how it goes. So, and then this one's got pockets over here. This paper is from Raindrop Lila. It's her Parisian. I can never say that word, guys. It's a Paris thing. And this one as well. And this one, I believe, is from Pixie Dust Files. And I will link it because I am using this paper again in the one we're going to do together. Now, this is interesting because, oh, we're sticking. So those ones do go up. I almost like that. So I did things a little bit differently in the second one that I did. Boy, we got some serious stickage here. Oh, that's bad news. So you got to be careful. If you got oozing glue, that is going to stick that where you don't want it stuck. There we go. We'll just put this one in my reference folder. So yeah, that one looks okay. I just was thinking it seemed awfully bulky up here at the top, but we're going to go ahead and do it that way. So since we've got a spine here, a little bit of a gusset to allow for some bulk. So I will link the where I got the template. It was just off of an Etsy shop, and it looks like I don't have my note. Oh no, wait. Oh, there it is. Country Mouse Prints. I purchased this template, and this is what it looks like when it's all together, whichever way you look at it, like that. So I just thought it was a really great to have just kind of a base to play with when you're kind of your mind is kind of sucking a little bit. It's nice to have a template to just make something really fun. So I've got my Fabri-Tac, my white glue, eyelet, setter, vintage photo archival ink, corner rounder, and eyelets, and my ruler in case we need it. I've also got my cutter over there and my scoreboard. Got the small one and the bigger one for bigger pieces in case we need it. I'm going to set that aside. And so it comes with 3 pockets. You only need one, right? Because they're all the same size. They are all the same size. So we'll just be using one of those. And then we've got, I believe there's 5 pieces of the waterfall. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's 6, 5, and I didn't label this one. This one is 6. So I think I forgot it in my original prototype. I didn't do the 6th piece. I completely missed it. And then you've got your base. Now I always struggle with getting around all these curves, but don't worry about it. Just do your very best if you try it. The other thing a person could do is just do this on your own, and then just take this end of the paper and use a die or some decorative scissors or a punch or something and make some kind of a scalloped edge. That way you could also trim this down so it's not so wide, because if you trimmed off to this point, it would only be, well, it'd still be too long, too tall for a journal. So interesting. But we're making them for fun, so we're going to set that there. The kits that I'm using today are, these are from my Porch Prints, and they are the Vintage Children kit, and I just pulled them from my stash. Oh, they're not backed on the back. That's a bummer. I'll have to take care of that. And I might do that off camera, we'll see. And then these ones are from, they're Shabby Chic Ephemera, and I believe they're from Sweet Pea Curiosities, if my memory serves me, but I could be wrong, but I will link them. So those are going to go in the pockets. And then we're using, this is from Raindrop Lila as well, so I have 2 of these to make something out of. I don't know why I have 2 of these. We'll see. We'll see. This is going to be our base, so it's going to fold like this. So it's going to be, oh no, it's going to fold like this. So this is the inside, and so it's going to fold like this. Okay, which means we're gonna cut out our little girl, but we're gonna be using that paper hopefully again. And then I've got a couple of pieces of this rose paper, which is also from the same kit from Raindrop Lila. I've got 2 pieces. I believe I was going to do the waterfall elements with this paper, and then the pockets. I think I was thinking about doing the pockets with this, so that we could capture that image again, because it is so beautiful, these images on here. So let me keep that here so that I don't lose track again. So the first thing that we're going to do, some of this I'll speed up because there's going to be a lot of tracing around the template and cutting, so I will not burden you with those details. But I'm going to set these over there because I know that we want to use those. And I find it easier to do my tracing on the side that's not as busy, but you do want to think about which way it's going to fold. So, because it could, no, that should be upside down that way. So it's going to have to go this way. So that means we want the template to go like this. Okay, so we've got the scalloped edge at the top. Now I'm going to try to bring this up a ways. We're going to lose a little bit, but not much. Oh, we got to put that down a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to trace this. I'll cut the big lines, the big sides with my trimmer. So I'm just going to make a line there, a line here, a line here. Sorry, I'm a little off camera. I did make an adjustment to the camera. So, and then this one I'm going to go all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my trimmer, and I'm going to cut off these long lines, and then I'm going to fussy cut the curvy bits. So I'm just going to grab my fussy cut scissors so those are ready. I use the Cutter B scissors, so I'll be right back. I am not very good at fussy cutting this stuff, guys. It takes a lot of concentration for me, so it doesn't tend to turn out very well. I am working on a 65-pound paper, so I'm using a heavier, this is probably the heaviest paper I use on a regular basis. So just keep that in mind. You do want your kind of folio base to be a little bit more sturdy. So I'm going to grab my eraser and go around and erase the pencil lines that are left over, because I never cut very straight, even with the trimmer. Okay. All right, let's get rid of the glue bits, or the eraser stuff. Okay, so that's that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back over, and we're going to put this back on here so that we can make some marks for our score lines. So I'm going to bring it right up here. I'm hoping that you guys can see it, and I'm just lining up the bottom to make sure that, oh, we got more pencil lines. Let me grab that. Usually they cover up with ink pretty well, and I'm going to just line this up so that I can make my marks for the score lines, because we have a 1/4 inch score line in 2 places. So I'm going to make 1, 2, 1, and 2. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to my scoreboard and score those really quick. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to erase those pencil lines as well. We do not need them anymore. And we're going to go ahead and do our scoring. I'm going to grab my bone folder here. We're done with the template. So I think it was like, I don't know, maybe $2.50 or something like that. It's just, and then you have it forever, you guys. And you could alter this. You could make it different sizes. You could have it have different folds. You know, it's just a base template. So pretty nifty. So I'm just going to give this a score here. Good burnish. And then find the second one just right next to it. So it is Monday, June the 10th, and our teacher, for many of you know, I work in special education, and our teacher is pregnant, and so she actually had her baby a few days early. So we had a sub today, so we're going to be having a sub obviously for the rest of the year, and then in the beginning of this new school year. That's not exactly straight, Cara-Renee. Let me try that again. Okay. So yeah, we knew it was a baby girl, but I'm so glad that she's done. I remember being pregnant, and you're just like, I just want my baby. I just want my body back. I just don't want to be carrying all this around. It's so hard, and she got so uncomfortable. But baby's here, and everybody's doing well, so we wish her well. But, you know, and we were already prepared for her to be out effective this coming Wednesday, so only two days earlier than, 3 days earlier of work. No, sub was originally supposed to come on Wednesday, so not too bad. So she's been a machine, I tell ya. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to take a moment and ink all these edges up just so we're ready to go to the next step. So I was thinking about if you just made your own, you know, your own little trifold type of thing and just did your own interesting flap, you could make this any height that you want without any trouble. So, or you could, yeah, because you could make it a lot narrower in terms of this distance. So we are all inked up and ready for the next step. So we're going to set this aside because we don't need it anymore right now. So unfortunately it does cover up our girl, but she's still there. She's just covered by the flap, and I love that. I actually really love that. So the next thing is going to be the hard part, which is the things, the waterfall pieces. So we're going to go ahead and bring this over here. And I'm going to just start tracing around each of these shapes, and then I will turn to my cutter and cut them out. So I'm just going to do that really quick. I'm just going to speed this part up for you guys. Hopefully it'll go well. Now you could totally make these all different prints like I did on some of the prototypes. I just really wanted to use this paper and stay with this kind of color tone and design, so that's why I decided to go ahead and do all those pieces the same. So I'm going to take a moment and cut these out, and then we will move on to the next step. So you know my motto is perfection is not at play in the studio, so I'm not going to fret about things not being perfect. I am going to get my eraser out and erase, again, erroneous pencil marks that are no longer needed. And then we're going to kind of hold these up and see if they are approximately all the same width. But again, I don't worry too much about it. It's just paper and glue. And then I'm holding off on the scoring until I start putting it together, because that's where I got all discombobulated before. And I believe that what I discovered is the first one goes on whole, and then for each consecutive one, you have to cut a 1/2 inch off of the top of it and then score it at a 1/2 inch in order for it to do what it needs to do. So I don't know how she put hers together, the creator of the template, because there's a little video on Etsy, but I can't stop it. I can't slow it down. I just have to keep rewatching the same little clip, and it doesn't really show how they're put together, you know, how they're glued on. And so I'm doing it the way that I normally would do a waterfall. So okay, there we go. So we've got, there's our big one, and then there's our next size, and our next size, next. So I'm just going to roughly look and see if they're just moderately, oh, they look pretty darn good, actually. Look at that. Pretty good. We've got some more pencil lines, though. Again, usually the ink takes care of that, but I'm feeling a little fussy, so I'm just gonna try to get rid of them if I see them. Okay, so let's just put those aside for the moment, and we're gonna do the same with the pockets. So we're gonna cut 3 of these, and I thought we would do, what was I thinking? Oh, I wanted to do the pockets out of this so that we can get that little girl back. So this is going to go this way, so our pockets are going to go on that side, which is awesome. But I can't get the girl. I'm so sad about the little girl, because I would cut her off. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. I wanted to have her, but we can't have everything we want. So I'm just going to start tracing these out. I'm just going to do it 3 times, and then I'm going to cut them out, and I will be back. So obviously, as you can probably see, these have a gusset as well, or, you know, the thing that makes them more expandable. So they're going to hold. They'll hold more than I'm preparing to put in them. I might put more in them as I move along, but for starters, I will just start with the 2 pieces in each pocket. So just doing that. One more. So I do have some good news. I don't remember if I mentioned it recently, but I did find some epic shoes. And I went to a store here locally that offers a 60-day money-back guarantee, even if they've been worn. And so I found myself a pair of New Balance, and they are like walking on air. And they do a scan of your feet and stuff, and I found out that I've been buying the wrong size of shoe. I have wide feet, and I've never bought a wide shoe. And so hopefully that's going to solve some of my additional problems that are beyond the plantar fasciitis. So stoked. I walked this morning before work, and no pain. Wore the shoes all day today, no pain. And I am just in heaven. You know, there's nothing worse than foot pain, especially when you're trying to get in shape, you're trying to get healthy and active. It's really hard if you hurt all the time. And your feet you got to have your feet, right? So it's tough. So those are done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to score these 3 pockets. I didn't have enough of that one. I hope that you guys noticed. I didn't have enough of the one another one of these that I could get the get the angle right. And I didn't have another copy, so I don't even need to worry about those lines because they're going to be folded in as part of the gusset, but these ones will not, up here on this edge and this edge. So let's get the little scoreboard over here. Right here. Okay, and we're going to score a 1/4 inch. And so I'm just going to get this in my scoreboard, and scoreboards are tricky for me, as I mentioned before, because it never seems to line up right for me. So I'm going to go like that. See if I can make this work. Oh, that's quarter. What? What the what? What's a 1/4 inch line? That's not straight. That's probably why. That is not a straight edge. Let me see if I can straighten that out. Goodness gracious. Just going to take off a little bit here. That was weird. Oh yeah, that's more like it. So I can see that that tip is right on the 1/4 inch line. So, oh, cannot move though, Cara-Renee. In order to be effective, things need to stay. That one's crooked too. That was strange. Maybe it's my template that's crooked. That's okay. We're just going to straighten that out. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So we're going to go ahead and, if that's not quite right, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm not really friends with scoreboards. And the same with the cutter. Like, I don't really trust it most of the time, so it's hard. I like to do things the hard way sometimes. Is this one straighter? Let's see. Is it? Is it? No, it's not. I must have cut the template in even, so I'll have to print another one and do a more precise cut on that so that I don't bump into this if I use this in the future. So last one. We'll get these all burnished and folded up and inked. And then we'll probably set this one aside and move on to the waterfall piece of this process because it's the more elaborate part. But we will go ahead and get these bent out. Oh, those just adorable. I think this pink will be a nice touch. In a pinch, it works. So I was wondering if you guys have any plans for summer. Do you guys like to stay close to home? Or I am not a traveler. Like, I take little tiny trips to the beach and things like that. That's mostly where I go, is the beach. My husband and I are homebodies. We really, really, really like to be at home. We like our simple life. We like our little acre of heaven here. And so we don't tend to want to go a lot of places. We don't travel. So there we go. So those are ready to go. I'm just going to set them aside so we can work on the waterfall feature. So we're going to again start one by one with this, and you want to keep in mind which direction your paper is so that you don't start putting these in wrong. I am actually going to pause here because I want to put, that's what that other paper was for. Shoot, I forgot. Ugh, I forgot. Okay, we're going to use this. So it serves two functions. So let me show you what this looks like underneath the waterfall. So see, when you get to the last page, you have that base, and I don't want that. I want this to be writing space. It solves two problems. One, it will create that writing space. Two, it will allow me to put some seam binding underneath the waterfall element so that it can be, it'll have a closure. It will stay closed. So I'm going to go ahead and put this like so, and I'm just going to cut this piece of paper just shy of that edge where that mark is, or where that gusseted part is, and I'm going to go about the same distance top to bottom here and cut it off. So let me do that really quick. Okay, doesn't have to be precise. This is not a precise measurement in any way. So basically what I like to do is build my waterfall element on the top of this. Did I just do that? Too narrow. Yeah, no, it's perfect. So that we can set that piece aside. So you're going to start with your smallest piece, and I'm going to bring the little scoreboard over so that we can score as we go. So this one just gets scored at 1/2 inch. That's based on the template. So you could make that a different size, but you just have to account for how that's going to change the staggering of your elements. So you do want to make sure that you've got it going this direction, the narrower direction. So I'm going to turn my scoreboard just because that's easier. And I'm going to find my score tool here, and we're going to go 1/2 inch. Okay. So we're going to be inking and stuff as we go. So I'm trying not to put that too far away from me. I keep doing that. So we're going to go ahead and give this a good score. Double fisted here. Okay. Give it an inking if you like that. This, now that I'm using this paper for the waterfalls, I might put something on top of it, but I probably will do that off camera because I don't want to keep you too long. So just put a little bit of embellishment on it. And pretty much that's all we need to worry about. Okay, so now we're going to take this piece, probably should ink it as well before we get too far into this process. Just in case some of it shows, it looks like I cut it the exact width of the waterfall pieces, so it should work fine, like so. So now when this one goes on, it's going to fold this way, right? Because that's the first one. So just want to pull this one over. This was my more successful one, just to look at height wise. So if I put this up here, it's a little bit shorter, but if I go like that, then I want to bring this up a little bit further. So about 1/2 inch from the top is what I'm aiming for here, ish. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac because it allows me to move it. That's really, really important for me. Now, if you guys are really good and precise, you could probably do it without using Fabri-Tac, but I'm just putting a little bit of glue. I'm staying away from that edge because I don't want any oozing glue to get on the base. So I'm just going to put this on here about 1/2 inch from the top. It's not exactly the same width. What the what? How is that possible? How is that possible? That's okay. It's sticking out a little bit. So then I give that a good press, and then I open this up right away. Okay, so that we don't have anything sticking. So see, if I only did 1/2 inch, let me show you that just so you can hopefully follow my train of thought. So I'm going to score this at the 1/2 inch again. Okay, 1/2 inch. And I score that. Maybe we should try to play together and figure this out. So this goes like this in here, okay? So no matter how you do this, you get bunching up. So I want them to be about that distance apart. So we're gonna go with that. So, oh, that's exactly right. I didn't have to cut any off. What is the deal? Interesting. Huh. Okay, we're just gonna go with it, folks. You'd think after 2 prototypes and sleeping on it, I could figure this out, but for some reason, when my brain is stressed out though with the close of the school year and just being done, it's just hard to process normal everyday things that I wouldn't be struggling with as much as I am struggling. Because how I do them, so I did one where I did this, but I prefer to do this. And actually, I think in some of my prototypes I do that, but that would be too long for this piece. So I'm going to bring it right up there, okay? Just going to follow that line of thinking. Right or wrong, we're committed. Now we're committed. I'm just going to bring it right up to that line. Okay. Kind of gives you a resting spot for it as well, and just give that a good press. And I like to fold that next piece down. Look at how beautiful that is. It's awesome. It's not as... Oh no, that needs to go up. Doggone it. Maybe we won't put as many on here. That might be the solution here, because I do not want to keep pulling stuff up, which is what I did on the prototype. So I think we're just going to improvise here, because I like this because it doesn't create all the bulk all in one place when you drop this down to that line of the last one. So we're going to do that. It may mean that we don't get enough, we don't get as many on here. That's okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and score this. Sorry for the whatever, the indecisiveness, the waffling, as they say in the UK. I guess I'm a waffler, you know, sometimes. Just trying to get a video done, just looking at my watch and realizing my husband will be home shortly. I hope to get this done before he comes home so that I don't have to close the door. Doesn't really need 6 pieces. That's pretty elaborate for a waterfall. But I definitely want to figure out what I'm doing wrong, because this is not working out as planned. I mean, it's fine, because see what we have here is we do have this kind of thing going on there, but see how that's exactly the same distance, which is really what I want. So we're going to keep going with that. It means we're not going to get all of them on. So I'm going to be happy with that. Are you okay with that? My mind seems fixed in some ways, and so I'm having trouble thinking outside of the box. So that's part of my creativity stuckness right now, is I just don't feel like I can think for myself very well currently. So I'm just going to pull that over and get that straightened out there. And again, pull that flap up in case you have any glue oozing out, so you don't get that stickage like we noticed in the other one. So okay, so there we go. So that's 3. That's absolutely beautiful. I think we can get one more. Oh no. Yeah, because we're going bigger, bigger, bigger. So yeah, let's do one more. I might cut off the top and the bottom just so that doesn't look weird, but I'll put the seam binding underneath this piece of paper, because I don't like to not have my waterfalls be able to close. Like, I don't want them to pop up. It's just a pet peeve of mine. So I always put some kind of a closure on them. Okay, looks like the last one. That's okay. As I say, I love to use, see, and it always looks weirder when it's flipped up, because look at how straight that is, but then when you flip it up, they're all crooked. It's so weird. But I say this often, you can use your digitals however you want. That's the same as the templates. They're yours now. I mean, you can't sell them, you know, because you didn't create them, but you can, once you've cut them out, you can make them work for you in whatever way you feel they need to work for you. So that is perfect. And I think 4 is plenty, actually. So look at that. It's so birdie. Okay, so we got 2 extra pieces. 2 extra pieces. So I'm going to reach in here and see if I want to find something kind of, maybe this dusty rose color. Oh, that's a really pretty color. Doesn't really go with this though. So let me see if I've got some, I could do some green. That would be kind of pretty too. Yeah, let's do that green. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on, but I'm going to just trim a little bit off the top so that they're even-ish, because, you know, I'm an even girl in some ways. So I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, and ink it. Okay, so now before we put it in here, oh, that's so pretty. I love it. So see how where things came farther over? Isn't that interesting? It's not going to be a problem. I can see that we're fine. But you'd want to definitely know. I mean, I went apparently too wide on these. I could take this to my trimmer and trim off each of the edges, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to risk it, especially since there's things that are wet. So I'm going to grab some of the seam binding. I'm going to grab a good measure just so I don't have to worry about it. And we're going to, what I did with the other one is I had it either coming up off the top and tying or down at the bottom and tying. So let's play around here, see what we want to do. I think the other one I did at the top, so we could do this one at the bottom. Let's do that. So I've got plenty here, so I don't really have to worry about being too concerned. So I'm going to pinch that right there on the back so that I know that that's the place that I want it. Actually, let me just make a mark here. And this is the center of our seam binding, and I'm just going to use my white glue here. Actually, I'm going to do this. Sorry. Oh, that's not the middle, though. You got to find the middle, Cara-Renee. At least try. Ugh. This is stuck. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go up. Doesn't need much to hold because it's going to be glued down too, so I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, and then and I'm not concerned about this being ironed out or flat or anything. It does not matter. So I'm just going to try to unturn it though. Okay, like so. Just give it a good press. Like so. Yeah, that's holding really well. So let's get this back over here. And we're going to place this in the center. So debating that. I mean, it's fitting, so I'm not going to fuss with it, but definitely watch that. I'm not sure how that happened, but it happened. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to put Fabri-Tac on the back of this whole thing. So update on my printer, it's actually serving me well. I am liking it. Really, really liking it. So now that I'm not comparing the colors, I mean, I can tell there's a difference, but it's not like a deal breaker in any way. So now I'm just trying to center this here, top to bottom evenly-ish, if I can, even like that. Okay, that looks about right. I'm just going to push that all down and make sure that it's not binding where that is going to be folding. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so we're going to try to leave that still for a little while, and let's work on our pockets. So let me ink these up really quick. I just loved the shape of these pockets. I thought it was just such an interesting difference. I wish more creators did this. I also wish more people did. Well, I mean, some of them do the little fluffy things so that you get an expandable pocket. So you want to think about what you want to have show the most. So I want this one to show the most. So that means this one's going to go up top. And because this is my third one, I know that it's going to come down about 1/2 inch from the top. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little pencil mark here just so I don't have to think about it too hard. And we're going to put that on. I'm going to use my white glue. Okay, I'm just going to place it right there. Okay, love it. Now, something that I didn't like on my prototype is I didn't like this being so flappy. So because we've got a gusset, we've got room. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue right here. Just a little bit, okay? Just to hold that closed. I don't want it flapping about. Because there's nowhere for it to go, you know, in terms of, you know, having things be able to have freedom to move this way. So we're going to put this one here next. Oh, that's lovely. So we just want it to clear that corner. So I'm just bringing it up about there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and make a mark again. Easy peasy. Where you can save yourself some headache, do it. There we go. Just going to line that up on that line-ish. Oh, I forgot to put the little glue on the edge. We will just reach in and do that again. Goodness gracious. Violent. Oh, that needs to go up a little bit. Hopefully we can still fudge this a little bit because I can still see that corner. I can see that corner. I don't want to see that corner. There we go. That's better. Okay. And then just run a bead of glue down there again. Okay, and our last one. I love this. I love the mix of the pink. That was a good choice. Very good choice indeed. So there we go. I'll just show you what things look like in the pockets. I'll probably ink them up and stuff off camera. So I'm just looking to see where I need to place that to have it clear that corner. So there we go. That looks beautiful. Oh, it moved. It moved. We need to move up. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. It's after work, guys. You know, all the synapses are not firing. Okay, that looks fine. Got a little bit of glue on the bottom there. That'll be okay. So there is that. And let's just do our little bead of glue here. Which I obviously could do that while I was before. So these may have to be cut down. Do they have to be cut down? Yes, they are going to have to be cut down slightly. So I'll do that, but one of these is going to go in each of the pockets, and then one of the little people is going to go in one of each of the pockets. So you guys have seen me do eyelets before. I'm just going to put an eyelet on the front. I'll do a tiny bit of embellishing, but I don't want to keep you much longer, so I'm going to let you go, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.